All right, welcome back for our third feature match of the night here for week two, and we got a very unique one here between Miranda, who I'll be watching, and Cody-Rayce, who is our resident stip match expert. He's played a stipulation match in almost every single league, and here we are playing Brawl. So this is a real league match; it counts. They have decided they want to do Brawl, and they want to do it in the feature match, show off their decks. Uh, so we see Miranda here with Joanna and Linvala, so white black deck, and Cody making use of his three color legend Zimone and Dina. And Miranda did take a free mulligan here. What's Cody's hand looking like here?
He has all his colors, though he is a bit shy on land. He currently drew his third one, so he will be able to play his Blade Burgeoning. But this deck, considering the just Simondina's commander, just really wants to hit the land drop, really wants to get to 8 so they could just keep drawing cards with the commander and, outvalue your opponent.
Yeah, so Joanna and Linvala, strong ability, but no inherent card advantage built in, and you know Miranda's hand is like a bunch of one for ones here. Deciding what to
Yeah,
discard between Bladed Battle Fan, Phyrexian Censor, Etched Familiar, Etched Host, Doombringer, and Merciless Repurposing, and two planes. So imagine it'll either be the Battle Fan or one of the 5 or 6 drops here.
yeah. Funny enough, like you say she has no card draw, but you don't need card draw. You could steal your opponent's card draw.
Yeah, so funnily enough, if both commanders are in play, Drana and Linvala will actually gain the ability of the Zimone and Dina, and the Zimone and Dina will lose it. So I imagine Cody-Rayce is aware of that, or if he isn't, he'll be made aware very, very quickly. Um, yeah, so funnily enough, they've gone even a step further with their stipulation, which is that the winner has to change decks. So
Okay.
for the next game, whoever wins needs to has to change their deck. So basically, you have to win with different decks. You have to win the match by winning 2 games each with a different deck.
Okay.
So
Neat.
even further, they just said, let's stretch this as far as we can go, and let's put on a show and have as much wacky things as we can. And it's looking like we're gonna be getting that here. All right,
So
so
Cody holding up Sandstalker Moloch.
okay, so rather than yeah, makes sense. Rather than play Blighted Burgeoning, which you said he had, can do this instead. He's not going to be able to draw a card from it, though. I mean, I guess he had about a 50-50 chance, since
Yeah.
Sandstalker Moloch will draw a card if your opponent has played a blue or black. Or you get to look at the top few cards and find something. I
Yeah.
imagine Cody will want to get rid of this censor. This card is extremely annoying. Um, very, very a controversial card. A lot of people do not like this design, myself included. Especially being put at uncommon.
Yeah, it also screws over all the battles, right?
Yeah,
You can't just like kill your opponent's thing to flip your battle, because then your battle is just remains in exile.
yeah, and with battle being like the marquee sort of new thing that the set's doing, it just seems very strange that they chose to put this even at uncommon. Usually we see these effects at rare. Like I said, we're not here to criticize the game designers, but this design is kind of almost universally disliked by everyone, at least for limited. All right,
Yeah,
so
so
no, no. I mean, Miranda, her best option here is probably to just play the commander. Uh, it's better than an etched familiar for sure.
yeah, just straight up 3/4 flying vigilant. Nothing wrong with this card at all. Just upside, up and over, especially since it kind of just like hoses Cody's commander. He has a bushmeat poacher in his hand, but that also can't really do anything. Drawn doesn't play.
Yeah, I mean, Drana Lavala basically says your opponent, like, unless he has removal, Cody cannot cast his commander. Like, it's just uncastable. Like, you cannot put it
Yeah.
onto the battlefield. So this is kind of like the trump card here. Like against some commanders, maybe a commander with like an attack trigger or a really strong enters a battlefield ability. Drana Linvala is just a 3/4 flying, but they just sort of ran into Cody's just run into this Linvala with his commander whose entire strategy, the whole point of it is built around that trigger.
Yeah, where we every time I think you draw a second card, drain 2 life.
Ah, she says he has one counter spell in the little friend request box, wondering if worth getting. But the thing is, in in Brawl, like, if your thing gets countered, you just get to play it again, right? Like, it costs 2 more mana, but it's not like it's gone. So
Yeah, you just lose a bit of tempo, which is like Cody's deck's not looking to be aggressive.
they've
Too bad.
obviously, I'm sure, like, particularly for this, they've sort of scoured each other's pools to probably try and figure out what commander they're playing at least. So she knows he has exactly one counter spell that he has access to, and did not run into it there.
Okay,
So
well
basically,
you've
what you said
seen.
before, Cody did not have a removal for this commander, right?
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what can happen. You know what's these incubate tokens can transform. Have you heard how about them like mutating?
Okay.
He has a Dreamtail Heron, and that will make this a 5/6 fly.
Yeah, this is something you want to mutate onto, I suppose. Obviously, Cody's dipped his toe into the Ikoria waters.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen this. Like mutate, didn't realize how strong it would be with incubate, but everything just gets free counters on it. It's pretty nice with the extra mutate trigger.
Yeah, there was a card in Ikoria called the Ivy Elemental that it worked with.
Yeah,
It was X and a green for basically a 0/0 with X counters. I believe it was an uncommon. Or was it a
yeah.
common? I can't remember if it was a common or an
It
uncommon.
it was uncommon, but
Yeah, but
these are just incubator tokens. Like you
yeah,
get these kind of incrementally for free, and then
yeah,
you
yeah,
can just mutate on them.
yeah. It's a very good effect. It was just I was remembering there was one card that did that in Ikoria, and that was quite strong. Or there was also the card. Was it Fertilid? Also was a 0/0
Yes,
enter with counters.
yes, for
Yeah, so there were a couple of things that actually did that we saw this effect. But yeah, here it's especially good. Dreamtail Heron's just a good card. Like a lot of the mutate
yeah.
cards asked you for a bit of setup, but this one, you get your card back. So
Does Miranda have any removal in her end?
merciless repurposing.
Okay.
That's probably gonna get thrown at this 5/6 unless Cody-Rayce has a way to protect it. Is he thinking
Yeah.
about
Well,
mutating again?
Cody doesn't have any more mutate, but he has an
No.
invasion of Eldraine. Probably thinking of throwing that down. He drew a Chrome Host Seed Shark for the turn,
Ah,
so
that's a good one.
his hand's not amazing. He only casts one spell, and they're not very impactful to the board.
I mean, the Seed Shark is impactful, as is the invasion. So, and he can cleanly attack the invasion. So I imagine he's thinking about invasion here.
Yes, he's drawn up the Consuming Ether one. Maybe just wants to make it a 6/7 that gives a lifelink bump,
Eh,
but I don't see.
that doesn't seem that good. Like that doesn't seem as good as this. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're kind of either forcing the blocker getting a it, and 2/2 is quite nice here.
Yeah. So I think Miranda's probably wanting to discard the plains and the etched familiar and keep swamp and merciless repurposing, but
Ah, yes, that makes sense.
yeah. So keeping swamp and merciless to get rid of this Dreamtail Heron because now they're just going to be facing down the fairies, which is going to ping every turn for 2.
Yep.
So yeah, Invasion of Eldraine, just really strong. The card that this actually reminds me of, I called it out in one of our voice chats, was the Reaper of Night from Eldraine, which was for 4 mana was a sorcery adventure to discard opponent discards to, and then it was a 4/5 for 7
Okay.
that when it attacked, uh, it gains flying if opponent had, I think, one or fewer cards in hand. So this kind of is the same thing. I mean, obviously you're spending less mana here, but it kind of deals 4 every turn, right? It deals 2 with the trigger and 2
Yeah.
by attacking. So it's very reminiscent of that, and that card was pretty good. Like even
Yeah.
like better in sealed than in draft, but still quite okay in draft. So yeah, Invasion of Drain has been strong. Like it looked to me as to be one of the clunkier battles when I read it, but it's just played out really strong.
Yeah, especially in the format where like people are like holding a lot of cards in their hand. Getting the last 2 cards is super valuable, especially when you see that the last 2 cards are most of the time like, very impactful spells.
Yeah, the more powerful a set is, the better a mind drop becomes, right? Like
Yep.
that's sort of always been true.
So you think Maranda fires off the merciless thing now, or want to see?
I can't imagine doing it anytime but now, but that's just me. Like, that's her only play. It's not like she can hold up multiple things. And so, like, if that's the thing you're doing, I just do it when my opponent has, as much mana tapped as possible.
Yeah, Cody really hoping for mana here. Uh, and as he typed in chat, but I have no clue why that is.
Yeah. Like, if I had, like, a removal spell and a counter spell, or a removal spell and a draw spell, then you could wait.
Yeah.
Then you could wait, because, maybe you decide, maybe they play something else, you decide, oh, I want to draw cards, and then I can untap and kill it. But here, she has Tiller of Flesh or Merciless Repurposing, and I wouldn't see a reason to wait on it, especially because green and blue could have any number of cards that stop the Merciless Repurposing. But I think she might just play Tiller of Flesh and go for the repurposing next turn to get that extra
Extra.
incubate value. But in the meantime, tick 5.
Okay, so Cody has drawn a forest.
Okay.
Now we'll get to see what he really wanted that land for. Oh, I guess what he could do is he can convert beast, and then uh, the token can be transformed.
Right. But I mean,
So he's playing it up.
that's not like that vital to transform at the same turn you play it. But always nice when you can.
Yeah, it kind of just gets blank though by like the 3/5 and 2/4 just straight up doubling it.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides. It doesn't sound like he has too many other options. I mean, you said he had the Seed Shark, which is a nice one.
So maybe he's just gonna play Seed Shark. He's gonna play Timon and Dina at the same time. Not sure his Manic won't allow him to do that because he only
Uh,
has.
Green, blue. Yeah, no, the triple forest basically means he cannot do that.
Okay, so it looks like he's just gonna put the Etherborn play, get a life
Blue.
bump.
Yeah, no. Yeah, because Blighted Burgeoning is not the land taps for 2 of anything. It's the land, when the land is tapped, it adds an extra.
Yeah.
All right, so Consuming Etherborn is going to come, and I assume give a life bump to. Got to be Dreamtail Heron while it's still in play.
Yeah, it's gonna do. Rand's gonna get on to 14, then 12 at the upkeep. Cody will be at a very healthy life total, and so Miranda doesn't have an easy way of killing Cody fast.
Yeah, this is a big life swing here. Um, I mean, I imagine this Dreamtail Heron got to go now. I mean, she played the Tiller
Yeah,
of
you
Flesh to get that extra value. And you know
we'll
what?
see.
It kind of worked out okay because, like, Cody just dumped an extra counter on the Dreamtail Heron that basically gets removed when the Dreamtail Heron goes.
Yeah, yeah. Cody just bemoaning the matchup here. Just the Drana and then Vala, just kind of blocking everything he can possibly do to get ahead.
Yeah, this is kind of like not really in the spirit of what Brawl is. Brawl's kind of like, I bring my commander, you bring your commander, let's see which one's better, or let's see, which one you can find more synergy with. And here it's like, well, my commander takes away all the text from your commander. I mean, could be worse. It could be like polar bears and Jan Jansons flying everywhere. Like, let's be thankful that we don't see any of that. I'm still having I still have recurring nightmares about the polar bear.
The polar bears, yes. Uh, yeah, not strong, not cards like those in our format. They just draw cards infinitely or make infinite value loops essentially by themselves.
Yeah, I mean there are some powerful legends. These ones are as far as powerful legends go. Like I find they're pretty fair for what they are. I mean they're both very strong, but they're not like you know. I mean I would say they're not game warping, but in the case of Cody, I think he would disagree. I think he would find this Strand and Lavella extremely game warping.
Yeah, the Miranda opened herself to potentially get blocked by some protection spell, but thankfully
Yeah.
Cody did not have it.
Which is why, like I said, if you're not holding up multiple things, just fire off your removal, just to be safe.
It seems like I guess I guess like the upside there is if like you don't do something somehow even more threatening than a success flyer, you get that instead. But you're not in very good shape either way.
Okay, so I mean, Maranda does need a way to win here, especially with this fairies. Lots of impending damage. So here's an invasion of Belanon, which is the battle
Uh,
where you get a 2/2 knight, and if it transforms, you get a basically a glorious anthem. So you get an enchantment that gives everything +1/+1.
I think she has no attacks here, so I'm thinking what she has to do not play anything.
Yeah, she does have aerial boost in hand, which was drawn last turn, which does get through one of these creatures.
Okay, so allow her to actually kill the Seed Shark and get future attacks next turn.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean this is what she needs here, and she's also going to get an incubator token as well for the
oh
aerial
yes, because of the
boost.
Tiller Flesh.
Yeah, Tiller of Flesh. Just I thought it looked good, and people were sort of just not talking about it at the beginning. And I remember I had it in the pre-release. And I was like, oh, it works on pump spells, it works on protection spells, it works on removal spells. Like this
Yeah,
card works on a lot of levels. It's a knight, also I believe. It's a
yeah.
Phyrexian, so it ticks all the boxes, and it's just good. Like every red deck wants this, or every white deck
I
wants this. Sorry,
I
but
I,
yeah,
I feel like in the past we've only had like we had this effect for like only creatures you control. If you target a creature you control, you get a benefit.
yeah.
But
Even then, we don't. I can't really remember the last time we saw text like this. Whenever you cast a spell
yeah,
that targets a creature, you get something like, and it's a nice body. It's like, like it's not like a flimsy body. Like they could have made this like a 4 mana, like a 2/2 or a 1/3 or something, and it would still be, like the ability would still be good, but we get like an actual body. So very
so
good, but
Cody
Miranda's just stockpiling these incubator tokens here.
Cody looks like he's just gonna sandbag his two activated abilities. Monadina never gonna come to play. Bushmeat Potion not gonna come to play because
Yeah.
that Dranon being able
Oh,
to sack those incubators for cards,
oh dear.
you can't let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's like kind of like in Brawl. Like I kind of just picture both people playing their commanders. Let's see who's better. Let's see who can do a cooler thing. And we're getting sort of like a lockdown here.
But the thing is, like Cody is actually killing Miranda faster than Miranda can kill him, just because the prickle fairies isn't.
Yeah, and she hasn't found removal for that. She had to use the removal on the big flyer, so that leaves the prickle fairies here, like taking away. She's drawn Phyrexian Archivist, which doesn't
Yeah,
do enough here, and neither does Invasion of Belanon. So
I think what she has to do is just she takes two for one and then just set three domed for two.
I think she's gonna have to start like doing like like full swings or very close to it.
But that
Because
five
aside from
five,
the
you know,
5/5, the rest of the blocks are not amazing.
okay. So
And
it looks like
this
she's
is
doing what I looks like she's doing what I proposed, where you just sit and wait. Oh, Cody has drawn a Gloomfang Mauler. That is going to hit Miranda for four in the face because it could
okay.
go on the fairies.
Yeah, this is gonna end a bit faster than So Miranda decided not to play Invasion of Belanon or Phyrexian Archivist.
Yeah, she really needs to draw removal or like a way to gain life
Well, I
because
think what she's doing is stockpiling cards in her hand so that the triggers don't happen anymore. But
yeah.
I think that's why she didn't cast anything, because she's like, well, these don't help me win, and I need 3 cards in my hand in order to not die. But now she's gonna pretty much have to play the 4/5
Well,
because it has
then
reach.
she's gonna die to the trigger at the upkeep.
Yeah, so she can play IR and gain a life. I suppose that's a thing that she can do.
And then she'd have to block.
Yeah, it's all bad here, I think, for the most part.
I suppose what you can do is that
Can try and
you
flip the Invasion of Belanon, making it a 4/5, but
that leaves you open to just dead on the board, kind of. I would believe so.
yeah. So we saw Cody like constrained by his inability to cast his commander, just focused on getting a bunch of flying damage in. So that first the Dreamtail Heron, got the Prickle Fairies, and that little trigger every turn. It just adds up. 2 is a lot. 2 damage every turn. It's very, very hard to deal with.
Yeah, 2 damage every turn. That one turn she took 6 lifelink from the consuming Etherborn. I guess what could happen is that she has to kind of just take it and then play Archivist next turn. She has to trade and play Archivist next turn when she has in hand.
Yeah, this
I
is
believe
really
that's
hard.
the out.
Yeah. I mean, it's all kind of bad here. Let's see if she can draw her way out of this. So I mean,
Don't forget Zimon.
killing the prickle fairies, that'll do it.
Yeah. So she's drawn. She's drawn the triple black Ayara or the. Oh no, I guess she couldn't play
Sorry.
the other
It's
one.
Ayara First of Lochthwain, the one that can
Okay, yeah,
gain a life when it comes in.
you actually can't play the other one because it's black red identity, I guess.
Yeah, it would not be legal to be played because the backside contains red and the activate ability. Yeah.
Yeah, Miranda just in a tough spot here because like Zemon and Dina might not have the activated ability, but still has the triggered one. So all Cody really
Yes.
needs is
And
a
card draw.
card that draws a card.
Yeah, because the Adrenaline Vala will gain the sacrifice ability, but not the gain life and lose life ability. So yeah, Cody making do with without his commander basically. This his
Yeah,
opponent basically played what was that card? Dranith Magistrate. Name a card
yeah.
your opponent can't cast cards unless they're from hand. Like it's basically that happened, but yeah. So she goes up to 3, so it won't die from the trigger, but now has to
Yeah.
basically chump block with Lenvala. So this is running out of options here.
Okay, Cody has drawn another land, but the thing is now Linvala is getting chump blocked. So you will have access to his abilities next turn as long as she doesn't recast it.
I imagine she is going to recast it and just keep 3 cards in hand, and it will gain another life from the Ayara if that matters. Which
Oh, actually,
might.
if the trigger goes on the stack and you draw a card in response to go to the trigger fizzle, or you take 2.
We would have to reread what the Prickle Fairy says exactly, but
Because technically she could draw a card in response to the trigger, and if it rechecks that she does the circumstances, maybe it would fizzle. I do not know.
I would imagine you would have to have the trigger would have to resolve. She's typing in got greedy on the tiller, and it cost me. Yeah, maybe a bit. Just letting that the Dreamtail Heron live for an extra turn really hurt there, especially with the knowledge that it was just going to get in a hit and a lifelink hit to boot. Like Cody would have been what, at 2 right here?
Yeah, it would have been at 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So now he's just playing out his things because they're finally free. They're rejoicing for being freed from prison now.
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna see because she's thinking about it. She could sack the Edge Toast Doombringer
It's gonna
and
see if
draw.
it works. I mean, I think she's feeling she's gonna lose the game
It does.
anyway. So
So it does work.
okay, yeah, good to know. I
So
still
now she's
think
gonna.
this is kind of getting into. It's not necessarily lethal, but it's pretty close.
I mean, Cody could just attack with creatures, right? Like
Yep, and
Miranda does
just
not have
attack.
like the strongest ground force anymore because she was kind of forced
Well,
to sack the
she
three
just
five.
lost 2 creatures, right? Effectively,
Yeah.
like tapped one and sacrificed the other, and it was her best body in play, the 3/5. So yeah, reading that, seeing okay, this is not going to be good for me.
Yeah, because even then, like next turn you have to chump it with the prickle fairies, and then his activated abilities are bad, and that's probably just lethal.
Sounds like it. Let's see if she can figure out a way to stay alive, but it's not looking great here.
Yeah, it was just a case of like you found your one removal, but you didn't have enough fairies, which ended up being like the key player in this game after the other flyer died.
Yeah, I also think just firing off that removal one turn earlier just gives you so much more time, and like the incubate 2 just like is never gonna matter
Yeah,
enough.
realistically it wouldn't matter unless your opponent played into it. Because if Cody did play one of his activated abilities, that incubate 2 would actually make a lot would generate some sort of value.
Yeah, yeah. I like just firing off the removal when you have the chance, but yeah. Let's see if Cody can close it out this turn because it's
Well, he
looking pretty
has
close.
he has currently 3 lethal attackers,
Yeah.
and he blocks the 3. That's just lethal on board.
Yeah, one of them has Menace, one of them has to be chump blocked by Drana, and the other one has to be double blocked. Yeah, it's. You could also do that.
Even, and then that would just end it.
Well, that simplifies things.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not realize how many of them were even. All right, so extinction event. That's a rare. Wow. Okay. I mean,
I mean,
it
doesn't the
it
board
looked
look
like the game
nicer?
was going his way anyway, but we get a flashy, we get a final flourish. That's what we got to end the
Yeah.
game. We got quite a display there. So now we're going to be going to our second game. So there is no arena option to set up a best of 3 brawl game, so it's just going to be 3 individual challenges. Cody is required by their agreement to play a different deck here.
Okay. Looks like he's gonna switch up to Atris, a card that doesn't get
Oh,
absolutely blocked by the Linvala.
Atris, I like this card. I mean, well, look, it's a 4 mana 3/2 menace. Draw 2 cards basically, unless they show you the best card in your deck as like the one card. I always draw 2. Fun card. All right.
Okay.
So Cody gets to
I mean,
happily cast it. Like this is a commander I would just want to happily cast on turn 4 every single game.
yeah.
Can't really go wrong.
It's just 4 mana, draw 2 essentially.
Yeah, 3/2 menace. Love it. Yeah, so Maranda has a hand here. Does want a couple more lands, but sorry for the Dreg Recycler. Has Invasion of Belenon, Battle Fan, Failed Conversion, Furja, Judge of Valor, and a Swamp. Durable Coil Bug. Now that's a 2-drop I can get behind.
Yeah, that's
That
a
was
2-drop.
such an annoyance back in Ikoria. That card was very
Yeah.
strong and worked very well with sack outlets too. Weaponize the monsters, Bushmeat Poacher to basically like never die, you just keep gaining life.
Yeah.
Weaponize the monsters to just kill the opponent slowly and surely. Very,
So
very
does
nice.
Miranda attack? No, she just not to trade for the Coil Bug, her Drag Recycle.
You don't really ever want to trade for that. You're just down a card unless your creature got you a card's worth of value. You don't
Yeah.
want to go 1/4 with Coil Bug. That's not going to end well. Well, here's a combo too.
No, Drag Recycle the Coil Bug. Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I mean it's slow. It's 5 mana, 7 mana to do it every turn, but if the game
Yeah.
gets there, the game gets there. So a line off the top here means that Drana and Vala could come into play. It could also just play SRAM and a Bladed Battle Fan to draw a card, and also has Failed Conversion in hand, which is an aura for SRAM. So nice
Okay.
little interactions here.
Unfortunately for her, if the battle goes so well for her, Cody does have the Extinction event that was shown last game,
Okay.
which can kind of just clean up the board. Right now, it's like not looking so hot because everyone just has odd, even permanents.
Yeah. I imagine he definitely doesn't want to exile his Coil Bug. But yeah, here
Yeah.
comes Drana and Vala. So, I mean, Dreg Recycler is shut off presently for Cody, but I don't think
Oh,
that's a
she
huge
also
deal
has
right
the
now.
Durable Coil Bug ability.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
sure, it doesn't matter. It does not.
It got added to the text box, yes.
So I'm gonna trade your 2/2 Vigilance for a Durable Coil Bug. Not the best, but I guess if you just want to get some board presence, it's fine.
Yeah, try and keep the board clear, clean. Try and get in a position to flip this battle favorably. But here comes Atris. We get to play a game. Always like this. It's always
So what is
fun.
revealed?
This is like such a skill testing aspect of Magic. So there's Kite Sail, Island, and Render Inert. And looks like the Kite Sail is going to be face down, perhaps.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, the Aegis player always chooses the two cards, but like you don't really want your opponent to have the kite sail. They can interact with your flyer in the air for like the rest of the game. The render nerd's doing like not much here. Like there's actually no counters on anything you want to remove, and there's an island which I suppose Cody would take, but it's not like he needs more land at the moment.
Yeah. So what a good card. Just I like all these fact or fiction style of cards where your opponent has to choose things.
Yeah, he chose the kites. He chose the card of one pile, and I think that's actually
Okay.
uh,
That's much discipline. I'm just tempted. Like to me, sometimes the card just reads draw two, like no matter what opponent does. But sometimes you just take the one card and hope it's one of the best cards that you got.
yeah,
But
well, it's just because it's just because of how weak the other two cards are, right? Like if there was like a playable creature in that pile of two, I think you would take it. But like the fact that it was like render a nerd, it does nothing in this on the board at the moment.
no.
And the other one was like a
So
land, like you don't need it.
yeah. So attacks coming on the battle here. Drug Recycler can get saved by a Bladed Battle Fan, which will draw a card thanks to SRAM. So nice little interactions here. We saw even earlier tonight SRAM drawing a card in the feature match. So SRAM's appearing all over here.
So what's better? What's better to make a blade battle fan? A battle fan that draws a card.
Well, now that's just actively like an amazing card. yeah,
Yeah, that's actually just a supremely good card.
yeah, wow. Okay, so land number 5 here means that Miranda has access to Furja, the Judge of Valor, or Failed Conversion, which will draw another card with the SRAM. So
Yeah,
maybe getting some value running, a value train rolling here.
yeah. Unfortunately for Miranda, again, Cody has the extinction event. He'll probably just attack. The next turn seems very simple for him. It's just attack with Atris and then extinction event the entire board.
Yep. Board wipes are powerful. Even, I mean, this one's not a true board wipe, but you can work it to your advantage. I remember it being an all-star of Gyruda companion decks.
Of course, yeah, sure.
It's just name odd every time.
Okay,
you
so
lose nothing.
Cody hovered over his kite sail for a moment.
Interesting. I'm not sure Kite Sail's really doing too much right now. Does Drown
So
and Lavala remove activated abilities from just creatures, or is it other types of permanents too?
just creatures, I
Okay.
believe. So here comes the extinction event. Giant Valley no longer has the dredge recycler. It was gone.
Yeah. That art is very impactful. I like the animation there.
So so did she draw a land to replay her commander, or she just
Yeah,
play Firha?
yeah. Could replay the commander. It's best way to fight. Best way to try and get this battle dead. Could go for Judge of Valor and then maybe try and if she draws a cheap spell next turn, could cast 2 spells
Yeah.
and draw a card.
Okay.
Hey, look, if you draw a card with Furja, Judge of Valor, it becomes a 4 out of 5 on the Cloud Blazer Index, which is unheard of. So,
Yeah. 5 mana, 2/4 with flying. Uh, Cody does not have the answer to this flyer besides like the kite sail to potentially battle in the air. But so he's hoping off Atris to find something to deal with.
yeah, she's messaging Cody that she was considering just running Furja as the commander rather than Dranon Laval. I think Dranon Laval is just the ability is a bit too good to pass up to as commander.
Yeah.
So cards are being divided into piles.
Showing off the failed conversion as the one card, and it's gonna lose a
Yeah,
land in moment of
yeah. It was a land in a moment of truth. Once again, taking the one card. Like I'll give him credit. I, I, I
the only problem
almost
with
I almost can't I almost I would I'm just too tempted. But now Miranda does get to flip the battle. But
Yeah, that's the
does
main problem here, because failed conversion will no longer finish off Firha if the battle flips.
and I think seeing that absolutely just has to do that. I don't. I mean, she wants to do that anyway.
Yeah, and anthems are very strong. Like that's why we don't get them usually at uncommon or common for effect.
Yeah, this card has been pretty hit or miss. Like a lot of times, opponent just plays it, and I'm not afraid at all. In other games, it just takes over the game. So it's one of the swingier ones I found, even though it looks like it's not.
Yeah, I imagine Cody might even fail conversion the Firha because he doesn't want to get smacked with for lifelink every turn. Like it'll live,
And he'll get a
but for
trigger
sure.
here. He'll get a trigger from this now too to draw a card. She'll get the trigger because she cast a battle.
Yeah.
So Firja works well with battles.
Yeah, Cody probably wishing he took the pile of 2 now because the fail actually doesn't kill any flyers. It just kind of sits on them. We'll make them O1s. Granted, they won't be very useful,
Uh,
but they're fine by themselves being on the board.
I mean, the information was open faced, right? Like the information
Yeah,
was open faced. He tapped out for Atris. The battle was going to get flipped. So
yeah.
could just play it to slow down the damage here, but let's see what he decides to do. Okay, Zumi informant. So she's going to drop either failed conversion or Phyrexian awakening. I imagine she wants to keep collective nightmare and angelic intervention. So
Yeah, I can. So it's.
oh,
I can imagine her getting rid of the away. Well, collective nightmare.
hmm, interesting. Surprised by that. Awakening just. I mean, it's a 4/4, but it's a ground creature. I guess it'll be a 5/5, but yeah, I like
Oh
keeping the
yeah, sure.
removal, but
Well, this kite sail is basically just gonna be put. I think put on the on Atris here to potentially just chump block, and then try to find answers in the coming turns.
just keep casting Atris. Just cast that thing over and over. You'll find what you need eventually. Hopefully,
Might be too late though.
if you're still
Might be.
alive, that's what I'm saying.
It's looking a bit too late. Cody does have an interesting card in his deck. It's been in his hand since the opening.
Okay.
It's complete the circuit,
Okay.
which lets you double cast essentially all the instants of sorceries you would play in the same turn. So if he finds a removal with enough mana
Oh,
with to complete the circuit,
I thought it just copied one spell twice.
no, I think it's every spell in turn.
Oh.
That's why it costs so much mana.
Huh.
It's like 6 mana with convoke.
Okay. Anyway, interesting card. I thought it just copied the next spell twice.
Okay, so he's just gonna take a beating in the air. This is 8 damage. You can't really take 8 damage for much longer.
Yeah, no, this is what you would call unsustainable.
Yeah. And now she's probably gonna play like Phyrexian
Yeah,
Awakening.
and could hold
Gonna
up the angelic intervention here.
Yeah, your token doesn't have haste. You don't have to do it right away. Cody has drawn Assimilate Essence, which is not the card at this point in time.
A little bit late for that one. A little bit late for that one. I mean, she doesn't
Yeah,
even have a creature. She doesn't even have a creature in hand.
yeah. Like the failed conversion might just be coming down to essentially neutralize one of the flyers, but it's not
Yeah,
gonna.
and that gets countered by the angelic intervention anyway.
Yeah. So here comes the failed conversion. Decided on the Firha.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good spot to do this.
Miranda lets it go. I kind of like the patience from it because it's not taking off the. It's not dying. You'll still have like the triggers,
Yeah, and
and
she
you're
can actually use it later to make it fall off. It will also drop off the battle fan, but uh, she can use the angelic intervention to, protect it from black, and the aura will fall off of it, right?
yeah.
That's sort of we like that was sort of a common interaction that we were used to, but now we don't see protection as much, so we're not as used to that interaction. But she's just gonna do it now, actually.
Okay, gets the Firha trigger.
Yep. I guess she wanted the trigger, so that's why she waited. She didn't do it at end step. She'd rather just untap. She drew a cheap spell to cast, and even dumping an Ichor Drinker in the graveyard here. So just all the little things are going her way right now.
Yeah, this is a large
And
Fearha.
in comes everything.
Yeah, Cody is not going to die. Well, actually, there's enough flying in the air to just straight up kill him.
Yeah, there's a kite sail, but Miranda can remove whatever the kite sail ends up on. She has deadly
Oh,
derision and failed conversion. So looks like
oh,
unless a removal spell is used here, uh, we will be getting another game.
well, Cody has actually found an Nephara's Dispersal, which will save his life
Okay.
because he has Complete the Circuit. Complete the Circuit can bounce 2 things now and surveil 2 twice.
Okay. That'll do it. it'll keep him alive, which is the name of the game here. I mean, eventually you
And
do want to win, but you got to stay alive sometimes first.
yeah, so I believe you do not have enough to attach the kite sail. So you kind of just have to like bounce both flyers, or I guess you could bounce like the Fearha and the token to get rid of it permanently.
Right, so another removal drawn off the top here, Merciless Repurposing. Again, doesn't really need the removal at this time. Just needs to declare the flyers as attackers, but we know that they will be bounced. Could really just
Yeah,
attack all, right? Opponent's at 9.
yeah,
Just attack all. Everything's a fine attack.
yeah. It's like actually, if you no, if you derision the Atris and make your thing, it's not double bounce.
Right. I will say I have not seen complete the circuit get cast yet, so we'll get to potentially see the power of it. So consuming Etherborn's good. Looks like it's thinking about casting it pre-combat, but I think leaving up Deadly Derision for some foolishness that the opponent might be attempting is probably better. Or just Deadly Derision right now works as well. Okay,
Could
so
disperse.
he can still convoke, right?
Yes, you can still convoke with the complete the circuit, and
And
the fire
cast.
dispersal can still be cast.
Yeah, for one. So still now exactly enough mana to do that. Okay,
Okay.
so
Oh, he has to
everything's
block
coming in.
first.
Oh yeah,
He must block first.
he has to block. Probably block the 5/5 and bounce the 2 flyers.
Probably, yeah. He
Oh.
he has left himself dead.
Yeah, he needed to block first, right?
Oh, it copied it twice.
Ah, okay. What
I
a,
I
goes to show what we know
I,
about this card.
I thought only copied once.
Oh, so you get 3 total. Okay. All right. Yeah, so he's getting this nice tempo hit in. I mean, didn't have to block. So what's the surveil decisions looking like over there?
Well, he's deciding that none of these are good, so he's surveilled a total of 6 cards to the graveyard.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, he knows he's still in trouble here. Like these flyers are just going to show back up here. I mean,
He does.
they're like every flyer here is lethal.
Yeah, he does have the assimilate essence to counter one.
Okay.
And he's drawn a 3/4, which actually does something. He needs to play the 3/4, and then he can hold up the assimilate.
Yeah, three
The
four
three
three four
four,
holds the ground here.
yeah, it will probably get traded for like a thing with a battle fan on it, but like it is a draw that keeps him alive the turn.
Absolutely. Like I said before, right now that's the name of the game. Okay, here's a 3/4 flying and just leaving up mana here. So what's the mana being left up for? I guess it's the counterspell.
Yeah.
So now, if Miranda just uses a removal here, the game ends, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I
Since it is
imagine.
Brawl, she knows that Cody does not have another Pharaoh's Dispersal.
Nah, she's
That
just
is not allowed.
she's just going for the Gloomfang Mauler, which is going to get countered here.
Oh, it's unfortunate. Gets
Yeah,
countered. Cody gets another turn. Gets another draw. So it's not looking very good.
I mean,
Still,
if she knows that that's his only counter spell, I think you go for the removal there and just
yeah,
has one card in hand and it has to be a removal or like a protection. I guess
yeah.
I mean she indicated that she knows that he only had one counter spell, so no, like didn't have to be afraid of negate or anything. So we see Invasion of Kamigawa, Eyes of Gitaxias, and Bushmeat Poacher. So 3 spells here. Let's
Yeah,
see.
but none of them are gonna help in this situation,
Yeah, I think
realistically.
Bushmeat Poacher is the one that looks to be the one to be most afraid of because it can gain life if the game
Yeah.
continues past the next couple turns. Like that card gains life equal to the toughness of whatever you sacrifice. So that card can gain kind of silly amounts of life in certain situations. Like very,
Oh,
very strong.
I just realized right now. I think they put this game in best of 3 somehow.
Oh well, they can cancel their way out of it. Yeah, though
Yeah.
if you remember, there was like sort of a glitch that if you set it up a certain way, it'll put you in a best of 3 match.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, they'll find their way out of it after. So it looks like Eyes of Gitaxis is going to be the hidden card. Um, Interesting decision there to put probably the card that's worst right now as the visible as the invisible card.
Maybe is praying that Cody knows exactly what card he wants, and if it's the hidden card, he has to take it.
Nah, he just took the 2. That was pretty
Yeah,
obvious.
yeah, I know he took the 2, but like maybe there was like a card in his deck that would save him here, and if that card was in the hidden card, he might have taken that one.
Yeah, so this would have been lethal last turn and not lethal this turn, but keeping this board clear, realizing there's Cody has impactful spells coming down, and but again, she's at 33 in no danger of dying.
Full hand of
She
cards.
just needs to land a flyer. That should be enough, but let's see what Cody
Okay, so
decides
there's
to do here.
the Oracle is deciding if he wants to shuffle 3 cards back into his deck. So he's just gonna take the extinction event because I think he thinks that he probably feels like he needs it to potentially be able to come back into the game.
Yeah. Well, this Oracle of Tragedy is another card that showed up with like little to no fanfare and has been quietly a very important card in a lot of decks.
Yeah, specifically because blue and black draw a lot of cards, they mill a lot of cards. This card lets you get back your 3 best cards essentially.
Yeah,
And
I did have a deck where I was looping it to make sure I didn't mill. I had 2 dispersals
oh,
with
okay,
that. So you
yeah,
just bounce it back to your hand, play it, shuffle back the dispersal, etc. I mean,
sounds sweet.
you don't really want the game to come to that, but if you if you get there, it's a thing. Um, we always like to compare cards to other cards like that we've seen in recent past. Like this kind of has a very scrap work mutt type of feel to it, honestly. And that card
Yeah.
was a linchpin common. It has a very similar effect.
Okay, so the Bushmeat Poacher is gonna come down. No, Invasion of Kamigawa is gonna come down.
Think the safe move is to tap it down with Invasion of Kamigawa.
Oh, she could have tapped down the 4/4 and then played the Bushmeat Poacher and then prayed
Oh,
that it didn't have anything.
I guess he has an instant here, or he's just bluffing.
He has Lurking Deadeye for 2
Oh,
flash.
okay. That was a nice one. I like that card. Yeah, so it's funny because, like we were saying before, Invasion of Eldraine, it didn't look that good and it's overperforming. And Invasion of Kamigawa looked like sick. When are other cards like, oh,
Yeah,
you tap something down and you get a flyer that draws cards, and it just hasn't really played out the way it looks like it would. So it's just funny how this one looked really strong and has played out a bit worse, and Eldraine the opposite.
yeah. Well,
So with the 4 mana
so
left.
Cody's lived this turn, but now there's probably a Dranon Limvala coming back into play.
Yeah, she might opt for the freewheeler because it's a menace creature.
Ah, okay, sure.
So like, with because kite sail can block, but I
Yeah.
mean, still needs multiple blockers / removal here.
Yeah, he's drawn Title Terror. That won't do it.
No,
Needs 3 blockers.
needs well, one blocker plus one removal will be enough. But
Yeah. Yeah.
all right,
All right. You seen the writing on the wall. He survived for as long as he could. Time for game 3. And for both players to realize they went into a best of 3.
yeah, it's okay. Yeah, with this is arena is strange sometimes. All right, so we'll go in. We'll get to see what Miranda's second deck of choice is going to be. I imagine it's going to be a different color. I assume that would have been part of their agreement rather than just switch commanders and play the same deck. Because like we saw Furja theirs, you could just switch it. So I imagine it was, the point is to play different colors. This looks like Yumori is going to be the commander here.
Ooh.
I do like the names of some of her decks here. Why do I keep doing this? Big Cat's Last Stand. Jund killed me. All memes, all
Okay.
dreams. Yeah. Santa showed up. I don't know what that's all about.
Santa showed up.
Yeah, this is all these decks that can be chosen from. Looks like, is Cody actually choosing a different commander again?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
he's gone for a big dino and a vampire here. Okay.
It looks like the big versus big has come.
Yeah, okay. All right, so Cody's not even going to rest on his laurels here. Like, he did not have to change his deck, but he said, I will, just because why not give us variety? So,
Entertainer to the
yeah.
last.
So we got Yumori here. Not a very not a very exciting or flashy card, but getting your creatures to be discounted by one. Usually you name creatures, but could name other things. But that's just a really strong trigger and can allow for some pretty stacked turns afterwards. Like playing that on turn 4 and then on turn 5 you could play what, like 7 mana worth of creatures, kind of.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty strong. So hand looks okay here. Wary Thespian, Dina, Soul Steeper,
Yeah.
Flitting Gorilla, Ayara, First of Lockthwain, Deadly Derision, Shade, and a third land. So just all creatures, plus the Deadly Derision, and definitely I think wants to keep a swamp on top here.
Yeah, like Cody's look like he's just playing like a white green stuff deck with like a secured late game because you have that huge 7 drop.
Yeah, that
He
7
has
drop is
Savai.
terrifying.
Oh yeah. He has Savai Sabertooth, Progenitor Exarch, Angelic Intervention, Scroll Shift, and Infected Defector.
Yeah, I was facing down against that today in my in a league match, and I bounced it with an Afara's Dispersal, and then I drew my I surveilled to get my 6th land to Merciless, repurposing it to win, but because otherwise that thing was gonna start crushing me very quickly.
Yep.
Like it, it
Uh,
does it does what you want your 7 drop to do, which is stabilizes the board, wins quickly. If it
yeah.
can gain you some life if you make the lifelink tokens, but it could also just crush the game very fast. And we
Yeah,
see
most of the time you don't see the lifelink tokens, mostly because like you need to have a lot of big board to make that ability better. Because Gotha does not count itself for any of its abilities; it counts on
no,
creatures.
yeah. So here's cat on cat violence. Not you know hate to see it, but it happens sometimes.
Well, one cat was clearly superior as it leaves behind surveilling.
Well, it's a cat in a suit. Obviously, it's superior.
Yeah, yeah, it's more refined.
I mean, New Capenna had to have like some of my favorite cats ever. Like cats in a suit,
Yeah.
amazing, just great. Um, all right, so
So,
Shade comes down. Not a card I've seen be great yet, but it came down as a 3/4. If it never gets another counter for the rest of the game, it still kind of is fine. But I imagine
so
it will get
Cody
another one at some point.
Cody opted to not play Progenitor Exarch last turn and instead to play the Savai Sabertooth. He does have the Angelic Intervention in hand, so he can't really double spell this turn because unless he wants to play Progenitor start with X equals 0.
Yeah, I think Progenitor Exarch, the sweet spot seems to be 5 mana.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
obviously, if you draw it late game, you have a ton of mana. It's amazing. But like when it's in my opening hand, I'm thinking I want to get it to 5. I don't really want to play it on 3. It's still good on 3, obviously, but
Yeah.
5 is really strong. Like you're getting like 7 power here rather than 4. All right,
Okay.
so
So
let's see what he decides.
looks like he wants to take his life as a resource. No, okay, he just wants this.
Okay, so he's just doing the honest play here. More cats. I'm not going to complain about more cats, even though this cat is of the Phyrexian variety.
A bit tainted.
Yeah, this is just a little bit. All right, so plays here could be Yumori. Probably it's just going to be Yumori, and then next turn. Actually, looking at the creatures in her hand, she has Dina and Ayara, First of Lochthwain, neither of which get discounted by Yumori. So maybe
Yeah, but I
Yumori's
can't
not the play,
imagine.
but
I can't imagine playing a 4/5 for 4 is bad.
no, not at all.
It makes like the best use of her mana. She can't cast the Ayara because she doesn't have a swamp. The Dina just seems like a very weak play in
Yeah,
general.
that Dina Soul Steeper just was not good in Strixhaven. Not sure exactly why they brought it back.
I
Right?
believe it was fine in Strixhaven because of you had some life gain synergy with like Witherbloom Pledge Mage
Yeah.
or like
My issue is that the two abilities had nothing to do with each other. Like it just had
yeah.
the life gain one made sense, but the sack a creature to get plus X plus O just made no sense at all. So I think
I
it was
think
just disparate abilities, just the bodies, whatever. 2 mana 1/3, nothing special. And it's certainly I haven't seen it be good here. I mean, you're playing black green, you could throw it in, it's fine, but you know, I think when it's in your hand, it's one of the last cards you really want to put on the stack, unless it's your only 2-drop on turn 2.
I, I think it's just the distinct lack of pests because I think that was what they were going for. Dina sacks pest, she gets more power, she drains the opponent because you gain life off the pest dying, but there's just none of that in this set, so it just looks to be kind of stranded.
I mean, there's Overgrown Pest, which I'm shocked they did not just add on the little text at the bottom: when this creature dies, you gain a life. But
Yeah,
I
very
guess
weird.
when it's overgrown, you don't need to gain any life. So it looks like she's just going to use this Arachnoid adaptation, and then she has a Collective Nightmare, but nothing really to cast it on. So
I will say the Arachnoid adaptation is a fair card. It's very mana efficient for like we had aim high in S Shadows
yeah, I was about to
Remastered.
say, coming off of aim high, what the heck?
It's like 1 mana less and does exactly the
Yeah,
uh,
and then we were playing in the Shadows over Innistrad Remastered Mega Draft, which featured Crimson Vow, which had the card I think it was called Witch's Web, which is
yeah.
same mana cost as Aim High, but you get an extra power and extra toughness. So Aim High is just getting dunked on like everywhere,
Yeah, yeah,
but still was good in that set. So
yeah,
these
yeah.
untap and give reach is just like the perfect combination of things you want on your cheap trick, because it can play offense or defense. Like a lot of the time a combat trick is just, it's one or the other. Like, you have to either attack with the creature or leave the creature back, but here you don't have to choose. So nice trick. I mean, just really playable. Like I would I'm looking to play one in basically every green deck that I end up with. So here comes Bola Slinger, another card that's been a pretty strong performer, I've found.
Especially when you curve into them. You curve into Bull Slinger and then you curve into another bull.
Yeah, it's
Two creatures.
absolutely backbreaking when you can do that. Or with the Mirror Shield Hoplite, it's just incredible.
Oh yeah, the Mirror
Yeah,
Shield Hoplite.
yeah. All
All
right,
right,
so Bola Slinger
so
comes down, and Cody wants to get attacking here. Needs to start making inroads on this life total.
yeah, it's gonna be 7 damage. The only problem, uh, she can attack back for a lot too.
Yep.
Like she's not sitting back with like small
Yeah,
creatures here.
we're looking at this.
they're pretty chunky, you know, like
We're looking
two,
at we're
four,
looking at
five.
10 damage here.
Yeah. It's like Cody can attack for 7, but then what are the costs here? Take 10? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, does he have a land for his dino?
No, he has to draw one. He's
Okay.
currently only holding up Angelic Direction. And
Okay.
that's probably consideration, right? Just don't attack because you can have a land play your dino next turn, and then suddenly you get so much advantage for attacking.
Yeah, so the Galtan Maverin, it has trample, right?
Yep, it does
It
have
doesn't have
trample.
any other keywords, right?
It does. It does not.
Okay. I don't know.
It
So
has all the Gulta.
you never know what could have reach nowadays.
It's true. It is a very large dino.
No one's attacked their flyer into my ogre javelineer just yet, but I imagine I'll see it in the probably not in league because our players know what's up, but out in the best of 3 queues, I could see I could see people attacking flyers into that ogre,
Or even the 3/3 War
or even
Historian.
war historian too. Just throw reach on just about anything.
Yeah, yeah. I just saw that. I was like, wait, this. I had to remember it had reach. Like, I didn't walk into it, but I had to remember it had reach because it just looks so obscure.
I mean, there was a card in Amonkhet Remastered, which was like a Minotaur with a bow that I thought had reach, and as a result, did not attack a flyer into it. I just saw the
I
picture. It's a
mean, yeah,
Minotaur with a bow. I just assumed it had
yeah. It has a
reach.
bow. It has a bow and arrow. It must have reach, right?
I think it was called Zealot of the God Pharaoh, and then I think two
Yeah.
turns later, I was like, oh, I can just attack them for lethal. Okay, I'm dumb. I over adjusted for basically everything that has a bow and arrow has a reach. Yeah, so
It's
look at
usually the case.
she's given Galta and Mavrin a good read there. I mean, the thing about a 7 mana commander is unless you're ramping it out, you are almost never casting it twice in a game. Like, the game has to go
Yeah.
extremely long. Like, that's the downside. And this is not. I mean, it comes down, and if you have attacks with other creatures, you can get the trigger, but it doesn't like warp the board. It's
Yeah.
kind of just a big thing that's in there. I mean, it's the biggest possible thing you could do for 7 mana, that we've seen in a while. But it is just a big body.
But what are Miranda's options here? She has Deadly Derision
Yeah, Deadly
in
Derision,
hand.
Collective Nightmare, Ayara, and Dina, which I imagine is at the low end of priority here.
Yeah, I can honestly just see Miranda attack for 10 and then like hold up Deadly Derision just in case he wants to play Galta and Maverick next turn that comes for land drop.
Yeah, you kind of just have to make sure that Galta and Maverin does not get to do its thing.
Or I guess you could even attack for like 4 and like leave things back because you could hold up Collective Nightmare too.
Yeah, we are getting some fun games here. This is these games are coming as advertised. Just such a unique spin that they put on it. I just want to go out of my way to thank both these players for agreeing to this. This is a real league match. This is not a sideshow exhibition. This match counts. Uh, you know, Cody, pretty much every league is coming with stipulations left and right. So, we always like him bringing his fun energy. And Maranda had wanted to do this for a while. She's a big fan of Brawl. She was just talking beforehand that she was very disappointed that she went out just before we got to play Brawl in week 6 of Plane Chase League. So her last match of week 5 knocked her out. She didn't get to play Brawl in week 6. So she's been clamoring to do this, and Cody-Rayce will agree to just about any stipulation here, as we've seen. Right, so in comes the attacks, like we thought. She was just taking a moment probably to decide what she wants to do post combat. But yeah, here comes a nice attack here for 10.
This is what kind of like the Bullet Slinger does, right? Like it just says either you attack everything, because the tap is so like devastating for blocker.
Yeah, it basically forces her. Okay. So I guess Cody's just going to fire off the Angelic Intervention, not to eat the creature, but just to keep the Bola Slinger?
Yeah, maybe looks like it.
I mean, seems mildly worth it, but it is going to get blown out here, most likely.
I don't think she can afford to, because if Galta and Maverick comes, it's going to suck.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's just the power of like having a zone.
Yeah.
Everyone sees it. and then you can always like be like, you're threatening to play this next turn.
Yeah, she's thinking, yeah, no, it's just gonna happen. I mean, she doesn't lose her creature, so it's not like a disaster, right?
Yeah.
Like, if she's losing her creature there, there's probably a thought. I mean, like, I'd be so. I mean, I still probably would hold the removal, but I'd be like feeling bad about it. I'd be like, I don't want to get my creature eaten. But here it's like your creature stays, so it's fine.
Okay, so Cody's
So
gonna play
no,
Seed of Hope.
okay, Seed of
He-
Hope card that was basically universally blasted upon its on the previews, and it seems to be a card people are okay with playing some amount of the time. I think it's definitely better than it looks because it does not look good. So now that he's gone to combat, she can pretty happily now fire off the Collective Nightmare because she knows she doesn't have to deal with Galta and Maverin this turn. So, um, held the removal and basically okay. So Scroll Shift is coming down. That's a nice one.
yeah, could have waited for attacks because now he could just put it on the floor and just blow.
Yeah, there's no reason to really not let it attack.
Because like you have no creatures untapped anyways. The attack trigger wasn't going to matter. But now
Yeah,
Cody could just like shift gears and be like, I'll attack you,
hard
and then like keep my
hard to
5/5 back.
read. Hard to read that was the last card in hand, but yeah. Okay,
Oh, so Cody,
so Cody's just opting for maximal damage here, I suppose.
yeah, gonna go for like the 2-turn lethal.
Just attack with everything. Oh, Glistening Deluge. That's an interesting one. That kills off both the white creatures.
Yeah, but then she has no answer to Galta, which you know is coming
Yeah,
down
I
next turn.
have to leave up the mana. I have no choice but to leave up the mana. And definitely cannot attack all here. Absolutely not, because there's a
No.
tapper here. So the Angelic Intervention plus the Scroll Shift, just the power of these protection spells that have just been getting better and better over the years, right?
Yeah, just really can't afford to attack here. Has even drawn a 1-drop they could play.
Like these cards,
Tarkir Dune Shaper.
like these cards are so backbreaking. These protection spells. When you get them in just the right spot, it's like it's the only card in the set that does that.
Yeah.
That like keeps your guy alive, makes it big, maybe eats a creature, and then just like changes the whole landscape of the game. So yeah, so now we're forced into killing this before you can get any type of trigger from it. So hopefully, I'm sure Miranda knows exactly what it does, not to let it go to combat. So it does the correct thing here, and we'll see what kind of attacks Cody-Rayce decides to do here. He's got the life advantage, so let's see how far he
Yeah,
tries to press it here.
he's got the bigger creature. He has a life advantage. He has a land in hand.
Thing is, attacking with Bolas
Play it.
Slinger is just basically sending Bolas Slinger to its death.
Yeah.
So, okay, so nothing here. So now this Glistening Deluge can knock out the Bolas Slinger. It can knock out all the white creatures, basically.
Yeah. Again, still threatens to play Galta next turn if he plays land.
Nothing she could do about that, though.
Yeah. I think you have to Glistening Deluge. You need to attack.
She's done what she can in order to stop the Galta, but if a land comes off top, it will get cast again. Okay, so maybe she's being a bit cagey here, but well, I mean, if you're only attacking with that, then yeah, you attack first before it gets -1.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have a great follow up to the Glistening Deluge. I guess Dina using the treasure.
Sure.
Oh no, it doesn't have to use the treasure. It's 1 black. Yeah,
So
so
Glistening Deluge.
yeah, I mean, gotta do what you gotta do here.
I mean, the good news about this is that Ickershey will become a now, so the attacks are supremely not great for Cody, but he does draw the land, can play Galta and Maverin. We'll get a free 5/5 tapped and attacking.
I mean, seems okay.
Probably doesn't attack with a 3/3 actually.
What a card! 7 mana, 12/12. Like, have we even ever seen that? I mean,
Well, the original
to
Galta.
cast, but
The original Galta.
yeah, that was depending, but yeah, 7 mana, 12/12 trample. Just I remember this was one of the first cards previewed in the set, like in the first
Yeah,
first apps like initial round, and people were just like, "What are they doing in this set? They've gone crazy." We got this vampire riding a dinosaur. We got Thalia riding a frog.
yeah,
We got all sorts of silliness, but yeah, this set has been a hit so far. I think more or less
yeah,
across the board. As far as limited goes, people are enjoying this gameplay. Uh, you know, nice breath of fresh air after mixed reviews to say the least for Phyrexian will be one.
yeah. So Cody actually thinking about not attacking because if Miranda has another removal, he's left with only a 3/3 as a blocker. And the
Yeah,
Dina makes it so he cannot actually block the biggest power creature because Dina could sack it to get its power.
yeah, that is true. So maybe a bit of a risky attack here. I guess he could just put a bunch of life linkers in play.
Yeah, I think he might choose it. No, he's choosing the dinosaur, which actively leads him dead to remove.
Huh.
Because she can take the 8 damage. She can block with the
Uh,
Shade. She can block with the Amori. I don't know. Actually, why would the 3/3 attacking
Not
was
sure what the 3/3 is doing in the red zone here. Maybe he thought
it
Galta
got a
Maverick
dinosaur
triggered
for
off like
H1.
your total attacking power or something. But
Okay, so Miranda decides she hates dinosaurs and blocks the. Ooh,
surprised, I don't know why she would not she would chump block here. It doesn't seem to be a reason.
I don't know why she's not blocking the 3. Like he's tapped out. Everything, no cards in hand. It's
There's
just a
can't
free.
yeah
It's
you
just a
can't
free
go wrong
block.
here. Yeah, you can't get blown out ever here.
And then you just need to top deck remove. No, okay.
Uh, uh,
This block is
I mean, preserving life total is okay, but Dina does have value here.
yeah. Dina actually could present lethal here.
It's just reading with Galta and Maverin to make sure she knows exactly what's going on. But yeah, I
Like
mean, there is something to be said for preserving your life total. Your opponent does have a 12/12 trample that you don't presently have an answer to. So there is
but
value in that, but it's don't not doesn't seem to be necessary.
the I mean Dina actually presents lethal here. Like, he has to block Dina because of all the creatures in play.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Like you could go to 4 here and you just play off the top of your deck because what's in her hand?
She has Ayara, First of Lockthwain, and Failed Conversion.
Yeah, that's lethal. It's actually
So,
just lethal on board
hmm.
because if she keeps the Yara, that's 12
Yeah,
damage
it's
because she had
Ayara's an extra damage.
Cody's forced to block Dina, or else she could sack her board to kill him, or sack the thing he blocks, and
Right, so
Yara will finish it off.
hopefully she sees that Dina does not need to be a sacrifice here, but it looks like we're going into damage. So here comes a Streetwise Negotiator. Does that change anything?
So if Yara comes down, he will go on to 11. Uh,
Yeah, but the
Cody will have
12,
17 power trampling next turn.
yeah, and the 12/12 is just going to come. Yeah. Need to keep that Dina alive, I think. Because you're kind of
Yeah,
dead. You're kind of dead anyway. If you don't draw
unfortunate
something
miss
great.
on. It's just unfortunate miss of lethal there.
Yeah, the question is now can we readjust and
Yeah,
survive all this trampling damage? And I think you can survive it.
I mean, technically she could like gang block Galta if she played a creature.
I mean, she can play two creatures here, Streetwise and IR. Could also cast Failed Conversion. Casting Failed Conversion
The
on the
5/5 seems
token
good.
means that the Galta trigger will be less devastating, obviously. So that might be the play.
Yeah, you probably play failed conversion here. You're gonna have to put like something in. I don't.
Okay, so figuring out what to do here.
Okay, could play that. Can still play the failed conversion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just
Uh,
figured out that's what she needs to do.
Umori will probably step up to the plate and block Galta.
Yeah, Interesting, if she doesn't have land, she can't replay the Yumori. Decides not to attack with the flyer here. Just preserve as many creatures to block as possible.
So Invasion of Morgana just was off the top. She can
Ooh,
now
oh, okay.
fight the 6/7.
Yeah, this might be the end here.
So Galta can fight. It'll be 13 power. Then Umori kind of really has to just jump in front. Or
Yeah, this. Yeah.
I guess you could just put everything in front of Galta and finish it off.
I mean, I think you have to.
Or you could put you don't have to put the Garia and the Umori actually in front of the Street Rise Negotiator.
Yeah.
Okay, so this game is not over, but it's like
No,
it's very
it's.
reliant on top decks from both players.
Yeah, Ayara in hand here, not really. I mean, it's 1 point of life gained and lost, but other than that,
Actually, I think
yeah, so
Cody
pretty
is
big
probably not going
draw
to
here.
attack. Probably not going to attack. He'll probably just like let the turn pass, let his Galta regain all its health, and then attack next.
Yeah, it doesn't need to put a bunch of damage onto Galta. All right, so it's 13-13 now. It now tussles with Emrakul, the Promised End.
Ah, yeah. Okay, there we go. Because the Miracle, the Promised End could technically show up in our league.
Yeah, well, I mean, Emrakul does have flying, but I guess
Yes.
if Galta attacks on the ground, it can attack into it.
Yes.
So you need to be big enough to fight the Eldrazi and the Phyrexians. So
I was upset. I was upset when my opponent Cosmic Hungered my Galto with their Yargle and Multani, and I was like, I'm sad.
yeah, they'll do it. I mean, a 1/1 Death Touch will also do it, but
Yes, but it's better when the opponent has an 18 power creature, but
18.
you're 12/12.
Yeah, like I said, that was also one of the early cards preview, and everyone's like, "What?" Well, everyone lost their minds because I mean, of course, Yoggle came back, but right. So
Yeah.
here's a serpent. Here's a Serpent Blade Assailant. Uh,
What does that? What does that do?
that's the Death Touch backup common.
So he's just gonna play a Yara, go up to 10 so that she
Yeah,
can block more comfortably. Like Cody still doesn't have the best attacks,
yeah,
honestly.
and the Serpent Blade can be cast here thanks to the Yumori discount. Deciding what to lay the counter on, and decides to attack here. Says,
Yeah, I mean,
I need to get them dead. This is now a 3-turn clock rather than 4, so that counter makes a huge difference.
is there? Oh, funny enough, Dina and Ayara are a pretty sweet combo because like Ayara, every time you flip, you gain, Dina will make them also lose another
Yeah,
because you gained a life. That's pretty
yeah,
sweet
they'll
combo.
lose 2.
Uh, actually, Ayara, if Ayara psychs the Garia, you can technically draw any creature.
From the graveyard here,
Yeah.
and he probably has something good in there, or she probably has something
Shoot.
good in the graveyard. Let's see what she decides to do here next turn. So what's Cody drawn? Something of impact here?
A Knight of New Coalition, which will help the
That's
dinosaur make more vampire.
it's bodies, which that's kind of what this game is coming down to.
No, I wonder if there's any argument for Cody to attack the invasion with probably not too slow. You're dead to 2 shots in the air with flying.
Okay, here comes the Knights. Just a solid 4-drop here. Here comes Merciless Repurposing. So that cannot be cast presently though.
So
Somehow has gone this
yeah,
entire game and not drawn a 6th land. But I
Cody hoping for.
still think you just keep pounding in with this flyer.
Yeah, there's no lethal range essentially because Yumori has just this and you else.
Yeah, Yumori has enough toughness to sort of soak up some damage. The Death Touch can trade with something, even if there's a bit of trample coming in.
Yeah, you just well also the death touch I guess could technically you just block and got this off the.
Yeah, So let's see how this turn is going to play out.
If he attacks with the 4/4, she's left at virtually 1 life if he full swings out next turn. Because you can make a 2/2 attacking dinosaur, and that's going to be basically forcing all the other blockers that are not Umori to block all the 2/2s.
Well, you know what
There's
they say. One is not zero.
Yep.
You can win a game at 1 life. There's a lot of things that you can't win a game with 1 of, but life is not one of those things.
Oh, is she gonna sack her Flingria, chancing?
I don't think that is right. Yeah, no. You got to you got to keep all your blockers available here.
There's a Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger.
Okay, I mean that's.
It's not gonna do anything on this board. It's just that it's a surprise to see.
Yeah, it's a card you're not going to see played in regular limited very much, just because the effect doesn't do anything, right? Like once you've got to 8 mana, what is it that you need double mana for, unless you have some crazy activated abilities that are repeatable? Like in that case, sure. So being dead next turn, he's obviously going to attack here, and maybe hope that a mistake occurs.
Yeah, it
Bad
looks like he's
blockade
kind
or
of hard
whatnot.
pressed. Kind of hard pressed to take the attacking dino as opposed to the lifelinkers because he's dead to the flyer, so the lifelinkers don't matter.
Yeah, no, he's dead next turn. So this is what you do when you're dead next turn, and you attack all, and hopefully hope your opponent blocks poorly. But I'm sure Maranda will figure out the best blocks here. So soak up 8 damage and then block everything else, I guess, or soak up 9 damage.
Yeah. So she's found out the blocks. That's exactly 9 damage.
Yeah, that 1 is not 0. So we are getting a hell of a finish, no matter what. Here looks like Miranda's got what she needs to pull this out.
Let's just hope she doesn't sack her Yumori to Yara.
That would not be great. No, just gonna let everything happen here, and Cody might flex the Vorinclex here. Rawr. 8 mana, 7/6 trample with no other relevant text. So what a fun last game we had here. Nailbiter all the way down the last few turns. So thank you again to these two players for putting on this show for us with the Brawl decks. And congratulations to Maranda for pulling out this very fun and exciting Game 3 tonight.